I'm pretty sure this woman have children. How did you do those children by yourself? With other women, probably. Those are probably like those lunatic people who think like, a man can be pregnant and probably, make his own child. If a woman can abort a child that she conceived with another man, with another human being, which is the man in that case, she has the right to do that because her body is her choice. No one can decide or say to a woman what to do with her body. But everybody can say what they want to a man's budget and wallet. She understands the concept of having a man in her life. She has maybe been disappointed by men, but that still doesn't make them not valuable for you. That doesn't make them not important in your life. We still all need men and women in our life. So if they can all be that, how can you still fight for women's rights? What is a woman then? Hi my populace, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Hypocrisy of the World. We are introducing the second episode of that channel and we're talking about feminism. I asked myself a question: am I a feminist 2.0? So we're gonna answer to the question by the end of the video, of course, but before that, we're gonna make an argument in 3 parts. Before, let me introduce myself. My name is Bettina. You can call me B or Betty as you want, and this is my channel where we're gonna be just talking about the hypocrisy of the world. We're gonna be debating on subjects that we have around the world, around in our society, and that sometimes make sense, sometimes does not make sense, and I'm just gonna give my opinion on them. So let's see about this first. I have with me my phone, but I will put you that here and cut the voice, I think, at some point. What we'll say. Anyway, the first one argument that is said all the time in Feminism 2.0. Again, I'm just talking about Feminism 2.0. I'm not talking about feminism in general.
Do we need men? Most answered very quickly, no. But when men were asked a similar question, do we need women? Most of them said yes. So why do you think that is?
Because men are useless. I mean, and by the way, I want to differentiate between straight men and gay men, because I think I would die without gay men. Nobody can gossip.
I have Handy Manny at home. He fixes everything. When things go bump in the night, he's the one that goes downstairs. When there's a bug to be exterminated, he does the extermination.
Nope.
When there is something to be fixed, he fixes it. He throws out the trash and he throws out the recyclables. I enjoy all the man stuff.
A second. She's really talking about a servant. Let's face it.
No.
It's a handyman she's talking
It's
about.
a handy manny. Oh, it's a handyman with benefits.
We do not have, well, but the things that you're describing, you could pay somebody to do that.
My husband talks about his feelings with his
Maybe he's gay.
Wow. So this part I'm gonna be posting here if I can make it happen. Was a conversation between the co-host on the show, The View, an American show, and the question was like, do we need men, as you heard in the beginning with this lady? And she said, no. And then when men are asked the question, they said, do we need women? And they answered yes. I just want to say, oh my God. Being a woman and being able to think like that, it's insane. There was one point she said, I need to make the difference between gay men and straight men, because she needs gay men because they can gossip. That's what she said. They can gossip, while the straight men apparently are not. And then when the other one was describing her husband, she said, I need a man because my husband can do that. She described an handyman. She forgot probably to provide all the answers. Maybe in the fact that they also are relatable to pay you fees. They also are actually able to help you to raise your children. They're actually able to help you go through life too. We need each other. And this is so funny for people who wants men and women to be equal in some part, especially finances part, in job and stuff like that. But they don't want them to be the same equal in other part. It's like the hypocrisy of that. You want a man just to be a handyman, but you think you have the same right than men when they're about in the offices. When a man is a boss and should work, he should own the same money. They should have the same salary that a woman, because we have equal rights there. But we're not equal when we answer the question, do we need men? No. the audacity of that. I don't know if you guys are understanding the parallel here. It's like, it's insane to think like that. It's insane when they ask a question like that and she said no. I'm pretty sure this woman have children. How did you do those children by yourself? With other women, probably. Those are probably like those lunatic people who think like, you know, a man can be pregnant and probably, you know, make his own child. So yeah, that now we just like have women who doesn't need men and have men who can become women. We live in a world that makes no sense anymore. Like equal, we want so many rights, we want so many equals rights, but we don't even understand the basic equal rights. Men and women, symbiotes, together, united. A base for everything else. If you want to be equal on something, you cannot answer like that in a simple question as, do you need men? Yes, we do need men. She is married. I'm probably sure she's married. I'm probably sure she's probably have children, or she's surrounded by nieces and nephews. She understands the concept of having a man in her life. She has maybe been disappointed by men, but that still doesn't make them not valuable for you. That doesn't make them not important in your life. We still all need men and women in our life. Men when we're women and women when we're men. We all need the other part of us being human in this world to coexist with them. Okay, it just makes no sense. And you cannot define which type of men you want. She said, I need my straight men because they just gossip. She literally took a person and use it as something, as an object for her to be able to be entertained by gay men. That was diffused on TV. That was literally something that everybody could have access because it was on TV. A big show in America. It's a very big country, and then as we know, America is a country where a lot of things just, you know, get developed there and then try to impact the rest of the world. We need to pay attention to people saying stuff like that. You cannot say something like that online. Putting in the head of very young women, children, even men, that they're not useless. She said men are useless? Hello? I'm probably sure like most of the things that she's been using in her life has been built by men. When I walk in the street and I'm seeing constructions of something, it's most of the time men. 95% of men are doing this job. When I go in working in night jobs, I have been asked, as I'm not even gonna lie to you, I have been asked so many times. I've worked as night audit in hotels. I have been asked so many times, oh, you really want to do that? Because it's not common to see women working in night job positions. No, they don't want to work in that job position. They don't want to work outside, sweating in the heat, or having to work under the cold, No, they don't want that. They just want to be bosses and have the same money than men. Yeah, that's one of your rights that you want, your equal rights. That's what we say, Feminism 2.0. I don't want to be real equal. I just want equity in some fields. Not everything, but I was gonna be saying like, I don't need a man, but I need a man to recognize me as his equal. Really? You don't need a man when you want them to be needing you and also recognize you as your equal, but you don't want to do the same. Is it what we call hypocrisy? Argument number 2.
Should a man pay child support if he wants to abort the baby but the woman keeps it?
Yes.
I really don't know. I'm just not sure. It's a complicated question.
So you think yes? Why?
Because if the woman want to keep it, it's still a child living. So
Okay, so let's say the man doesn't want an abortion now, but the woman aborts it. Then what?
Well, that's more complicated because I feel like the woman should decide.
But the man doesn't. Okay, her body, her choice,
Yeah.
right? So it's the man's money, the man's choice as well to not pay child support.
But it's still his child, like.
And it was her child when she aborted it.
Well, I don't know then.
Okay, so she's been asked, should a man pay child support? She said, well, yes, because, you know, it's also his child. And then, yes, he should. And then the guy said, okay, but if a man, and the woman decided to keep it. So he switched the question and he said, okay, but if a man wants to keep the child, but the woman wants to abort, Can she do that? Yes, she can. Oh, why? Because her body, her choice. Oh, okay. But then if she can actually take the full decision because her body, her choice, why cannot him do the same? His money is choice. Why is the man forced to pay a child support for a child that he doesn't want to for a very long time, 18 years we're talking about, but a woman who doesn't want a child because she really don't want to can actually just take the decision without even consulting the man on the other side. So she is entitled to be able to make a decision by herself for something they've been both doing it. Remember? Then he cannot take his own decision and make his own choice for something they've been both doing. Equal rights? Really? If a woman can abort a child that she conceived with another man, with another human being, which the man in that case, she has the right to do that because her body or choice. No one can decide or say to a woman what to do with her body. But everybody can say what they want to a man's budget and wallet. Is it making sense? Is it the feminism 2.0? I'm sorry, if it's the case, then let them go away the way they want, because the woman can go the way she wants. Why they cannot do the same? Let them go away with that. Let them get away with that. Let them just run away from that responsibilities the same way the woman will run away from that responsibility by getting an abortion. He should also have the right to get away from that responsibility that they did make together by not giving his money. Why are we going to court for that? Why are we pursuing this poor guy to pay something he doesn't want to? Because he doesn't want to be responsible. And then she said, yeah, but it's his child. Really? But was it not the child when she aborted? When she took the decision for herself? Were they not together? So they're only together when she wants. Feminism 2.0, apparently when we want. We remember that we can be equal because we did that together. But when we don't, there is no equality here because we just don't want to see that, right? Okay. Let's hear another girl explaining us the different rights that we apparently are lacking.
This is actually a super good question. So whenever people say equal rights for women, we are talking about equality across the board. Equal representation in Congress, equal reproductive opportunities and rights, also just equal opportunities in general when it comes to the workforce. And so a lot of this inequality between the genders, especially the United States, comes from the fact that men typically get opportunities more than women do.
I'm going to stop here because that's the only part that we are actually interesting about. She said equality that we want is being able to represent, having an equal representation in between the two genders. Really? But I thought that we were supposed to accept men that are women in the head or whatever, and then being able to compete in women's sport. So the representation will not be equal there, will it? We will have men who have their own sport, being only themselves, and women being invaded by men who are not women, and then actually just unbalance the representation that we have in those very beautifully equal representation that we have in sport. But no. So when we decide that, we were not thinking about equal representations of both of genders. Now we understand both genders. So there's only both genders when we want to see them. But I thought the same people were saying women's rights are actually accepting the fact that everything that women fight for can be for men now, because we live in a world where we have to be inclusive, and all of us. So if you accept the fact that a man can become a woman and compete with women and beat them up, why don't you still don't want to accept that in Congress? You may have more men. Why the genders are so affirmative in money vibe and politics, but they're not very affirmative in other parts? I thought you guys said in 2025 there is no genders, everybody can be whatever they want. So how can you say that the representation in the Congress in America is not equal, since genders are not equals. We have 50 of genders, apparently 30 or whatever numbers we have of genders in this world. So if we have so many genders and everybody can be whatever they want to be, like lunatic, A, X, Y, Z, female, men, underfin, morphine, paticos, whatever you would say. I don't know, I'm just inventing, of course. I don't want to remember bullshit. So if they can all be that, how could you still fight for women's rights? What is a woman then? Which kind of women's rights you're fighting for if we accept the fact that in 2025 there is not just two genders? Who are the women you're fighting for? Because the women you're fighting for can be men. So, like really, who are the women we're fighting for in feminism in 2.0, since we can accept everybody as a woman apparently? What is the definition of woman? Those hypocrisy, like we're fighting for something like woman's choice, woman's body, but then a man can be a woman, so that also means woman body. If a man is a woman, and then if a man can be a woman, why can you make the differences between the two genders that are not being represented in the Congress, since a man and a woman can be the same? How do we know the differences anymore, since we're all the same? How do we know that men are not being paid the same, or women are not being paid the same that women? I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. How do we know that how do we know that women are not paid the same that men, when men and women can be the same? Because there's no gender. Make it make sense. You're fighting at the same time for the rights of transgender and anybody else who declare himself whatever he wants to, and you still want to fight about women who's not being paid the same. The same than who? Who are we comparing with? Who are the women we're talking about? Which rights we don't have? What is a woman? Because I don't understand. You were okay to literally erase the women's right that they've been built in generations and generations of women who built the rights to be able to compete in their field, in their sports. For years and centuries, they fight for that, to be able to do that. And then we just came and we erased that. But then we all at the same time fighting for those women to be paid the same thing that men in some field, but they cannot all the time do the same, because a woman cannot be doing some jobs, and then the woman can say, my job, my choice, my body, my everything, I decide, but the men cannot say that. But we're still fighting for them to be equal, to take the same decisions. Make it make sense. I'm having a very hard headache right now, a strong headache right now, trying to understand that. Let's go to the last point of Feminism 2.0. I couldn't find a video that I didn't want to, was gonna make me sound apparently like a bigot, like a fat phobic at every word. I'm probably sure like by now you all call me like every word. But why to be a feminist today we need to be ugly? Like, why? So if you want to be a feminist 2.0, you should not accept the beauty standards anymore. We're talking about beauty privilege. You cannot accept the beauty standards anymore, like shaving. Why women should shave? If I'm not shaving, I'm a real feminist. Because men doesn't shave, so you know they have the hair, so I can have the same hair. Really? Do you think like two centuries ago, when women were trying to starting fighting for their rights, they were fighting for the rights to not shave? I said I was going to try to be serious in this video. I'm going to try, but oh my god, people make it so hard, so hard. They wake up and they say, oh yeah, we're going to fight for that. Or now, if you want to be a staying-home mom, you're actually not a feminist, because a feminist should want to go and work. I thought we should just decide what we want, but we need to decide the things that everybody wants us to decide, not just what we want. You know, it's just not what we want. It's just like, oh, you want to be married and have children and not work. Oh, you're not a feminist. Oh, really? But why? Oh, because a feminist has to go outside and work and not have children. That's a feminist. That's a real feminist. If I'm not doing that, I'm not a feminist. If I don't accept the fact that I do need a man, I'm not a feminist, because a feminist is a woman who don't need a man, a single. So I should be single, ugly, to be a feminist in 2025. I cannot be beautiful because then it's a beauty privilege. I can be fat and be feminist. I should not accept the fact everybody has a different body. And then if I want to work out too much, then I'm not a feminist because that's when I'm not accepting and embracing my own person. And then on the same time, if I'm fat and accept my body, then I'm a feminist, even if I'm actually killing myself. I should be killing myself, being single, ugly, to become a feminist in 2022. But at the same time, accepting the fact that men can be women, but at the same time, not really true. Men have the choice, but only when it's about to become women, because otherwise they don't have choice for anything because they're useless. But on the same time, we need to make the same money and be equal with them, but they can be us whenever they want, and then we don't know what it means to be equal because we're just the same. What? The hypocrisy is huge. We cannot be fighting everything that makes no sense. We're fighting stuff that are contradictory to each other's. It's like we're fighting for women's rights by allowing men to be able to compete with women. We're fighting for women's rights by allowing men to be saying like they can be women. We're fighting for women's rights by saying like we cannot have stay at home because there are shame for our fights. Stop. Let's stop. Okay, let's stop. You can be beautiful. You can want to be skinny. You can want to be going to the gym. Being fat is not a feminist. I'm sorry. Being fat is actually a disease. I don't need to be like saying you big, you beautiful. Sometimes I'm going to say you big, you're not beautiful. And it's a right to say that. And I know it's not nice. Maybe not something that you want to hear, but it's a fact. So you fat, you may have problems tomorrow. You may die earlier than other person. And then going to the gym to take care of herself is not being fat phobic. It's just being someone who wants to take care of her body and having a future. And we can be still doing the same. I don't need to not shave to be a feminist today. Make it make sense. Okay? Make it make sense. That's it for me today. I am just getting too excited here. I wish I could get deeper in examples. There's so many examples of hypocrisy in this Feminism 2.0, but I really just don't want to have the time to make a short video. I want it to be like fluid, like I'm talking with someone. I just give you some examples. I'm going to make sure like to put those videos in the shorts in my videos so you can see like I didn't invent them. They are actually real people saying those crazy things that is shocking for me. But anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments your ideas and opinions on the subject. And of course, I will see you on the next one. You guys take care. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay, we're just starting here. We want us to be more and more people watching our channel, more and more people able to comment and exchange and debate on opinions, because it's important in the society that we can debate. And debating on something doesn't make us transphobic, doesn't make us fatphobic, doesn't make us racist, doesn't make us anything else except just a human being who wants to debate on a subject that don't want to accept the full honesty of the thing, not the full honesty, the full fact of the subject without checking the facts yet. Okay, we all have to fact check everything, and we all have to debate on anything that is presented to us, because this is our right as a human being in the society, and do not accept everything just because it's said by the majority of people, but to actually defend and debate and question everything that is being pointing to us. Okay, so don't forget, a bright mind and an open mind is a mind that is actually asking the question why and trying to find other solution than the one that is given to us. Anyway, I wish you a good day, good night, whatever the time you're watching me, and I will see you on the next episode. You guys take care. Bye bye.